This podcast is sponsored by Relevant, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your newsfeed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevant is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Poorly Edited Podcast. We are not live. We'll never be live again. We'll probably be live again. We're just not live right now. We're in Emrys Farrow's basement. She won't let us out, but the show must go on.
That's true.
How you doing, Pat?
Pretty good. I had to lug my computer here in the rain, so that was kind of scary.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I was driving home. I'm like, oh well.
Dude, I was like leaving my house. I'm like, should I grab a garbage bag just in case?
Oh, you didn't have a bag in it?
No, I got one. I was like, I should do it.
Jeez.
Because I don't want to break my computer.
Yeah, I was driving home from work and it was bad. It was raining very hard.
Mm-hmm.
The sky was very wet.
What about you, Christian? What's your opinion on rain?
It's wet.
That's a very moderate stance you have.
You know that cliche thing where people are like, if the sun's not out, they get really sad?
That's bullshit.
Sure.
No, it actually has started to affect me. I never used to be that way. Now it gets rainy and I get sad.
Dude, I love when it's raining.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about my feelings, though.
I know.
So,
that sound on the window.
Yeah.
Just.
Well, that's kind of a nice aesthetic, but I mean, like, it actually makes me feel bad. It makes me feel bad inside.
When it's raining.
When it's raining, yeah. It's because the sun's not out. I need that sun.
Yeah, it's sun. So it's probably just a vitamin D thing.
It could be the vitamin D
You just
thing.
need to drink more orange juice.
My skin is very thirsty. Did you do anything fun and exciting over the week, Pat?
So what did I do this week?
My car's dead again. You know how my car's dead like every couple months?
Yeah.
Well, it died again.
Yeah,
it's that time of year. So that's been cool. I've been dealing with that. That's been a lot of fun. Got it towed yesterday. That was cool.
Are things looking bad?
Things are looking great,
Nice.
dude. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. You ever have any car problems?
Thankfully, I haven't. I mean, blessing and a curse. I haven't owned any of the cars I've driven.
Yeah, I
That's
get
like my dad's.
You have kind of had a couple junkers, haven't you?
I mean, yeah, they're not great, but they run.
And they were free.
Yeah, that's the main selling point for me.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it though.
Well, if you want to give yourself a proper introduction, I think now's the time.
Really
I am
botched
not
that.
the person to give myself a proper introduction.
Well, I'm gonna put you on the spot.
You're gonna put me on the spot, and I have to introduce myself.
Famed thespian.
Yeah.
Famed thespian. Sorry. Lame lesbian. No, sorry. The famed thespian.
There we go.
Christian Gould. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. But the
Thanks.
question was not necessarily directed at you, but at our listeners. But I'm glad to hear that you're doing all right.
I don't care about our listeners.
Oh, we don't? Okay.
No, it's fine. They don't actually give us anything. It's
Nah,
cool.
screw
Don't worry
those
about
guys.
it.
Screw the
It's
listeners.
fine. Thanks for well, you actually sat in on one of our shows through a lot of it, and your reaction
I
wasn't
sat through all of it.
Was it all? Jeez, the reaction wasn't like definitely don't want to do that. It was yeah, sure, I'll come on your show.
I was surprised. I thought after watching it for sure you'd be like, I'm not doing that.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah, no, I thought it was great. And
Did you actually think it was good?
No, I'm just saying that to save your feelings.
That's fine. Good. Perfect.
No, I actually liked it. When you had approached me about possibly being on the show, I thought to myself, last time I sat in on like doing a show, you had a band.
We
and
did.
I thought,
yeah.
I'm not a band.
We're really trying to.
What
break
am
that
I
streak.
doing on the show?
Somehow we went from not having any friends, just having friends in bands. So it's
Yeah.
been like the last like 7
been a
podcasts,
lot of
just
bands.
bands.
Yeah.
We love them all.
And are all of these bands made out of friends of yours or friends of friends?
I think we've grown to be friends with a lot of them. I
They've
think.
also somehow changed rosters to just include to make
Yeah.
more and more of our friends.
Yeah.
You go to the Home for Unappreciated Bands, and you know what? You put them on your show.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, sounds like fun. But I actually know. I had done podcasts before. I say I had done. I actually am still doing podcasts. I have a group, 40-Story Radio Tower, which I liken to...
Wait, like an actual building is the name of the podcast?
No, we budget cuts. It's only a 30-story radio tower.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Well, it's better than us. We change where we're filming every week anymore, so at least you have a location. You know,
Right.
it could be a dumpster, but at least it's a
I'm
location.
enjoying it though.
Yeah, no, because
Somehow on
you
the
sort
road.
of wanted to do
I
this.
did
You were
want
like,
to
let's
do
find a place every week. I'm like, that can't be
That's
a good
because
idea.
I find really stupid jokes that are hard to do really funny.
Yeah.
So
Like creative freedom.
yeah, like creative freedom or this. After
Right.
we set everything up, I'm like, this is a terrible idea. But I'm glad we're here.
But on the point of location, we're actually we're a podcast group, and we do all live shows. Although we've done some studio stuff at the Mock Chunk Opera House up in Jim Thorpe. If you've ever been
Is
there,
it really called the Mock Chunk?
the Mock Chunk Opera House.
Is
yeah.
that how you pronounce that, or is
yeah,
that
Mock
just the name?
Chunk? It's spelled
MAUCH.
Yeah, but
I've been going there since I was a kid. I thought it was Mall Chunk.
Oh, have you actually been there?
I've been to Jim Thorpe a bunch of times. I used to go to the lake a lot with my family for like summer vacation.
Yeah, but if you're ever in Jim Thorpe again, definitely not. It doesn't even have to be our group, but it just taking a show at the Mock Junk Opera House. It's really great. Not a sponsor, and but no, we record all of our stuff live there in front of a live audience. I liken it to Saturday Night Live for the visually impaired. Because we're a podcast, so it's comedy sketches, spoken word, a live band, and somehow
how did you
at the
get
end of the
involved
day,
in that venue? Like, how did you get that connection?
See, that's actually a really funny story that I don't mind telling over and over again.
That's good.
So, one of the things we do with the group is we do a production of A Christmas Carol. That's a live production. It's a play. But it's a Cole County Christmas Carol, where instead of Ebenezer Scrooge being like this moneylender like he was in the original story, he owns the coal mines and he owns the silk mills in historic, Mock Chunk. So we do a version of that where that's it. And the one year, because they're always trying to do something different, and one year they wanted to have interaction between old Scrooge and young Scrooge, where he's looking back on the stuff he's done. And they said, well, we really need a plucky young actor to play this younger version of Ebenezer Scrooge. I was their third choice.
Nice. Congratulations. That's good. In small town Jim Thorpe.
Yeah, where they found the other two, I don't know. Where I found them, you don't want to know.
Right, exactly.
No, but and yeah, I just ended up doing that show. It was a success. I mean, it's always a success every year we do it.
Right, of course. I mean, I
can't say we've had a bad year. But I reached out to the director, Joe, and I said to him, I'd really like to keep doing this. I'd like to keep doing some of this acting stuff, and it was all it's not like I had to do a lot of physical stuff. It was all voices. It was all into a microphone, much like we're doing now. And I asked him, is there any way I can do some more of this? And so he sent me back a letter and said, you know what? We're having a rehearsal for one of our next shows.
Wait, he sent you a letter? I'm sorry.
Oh, he sent me a message via Facebook. It was originally through letters. Thank you for catching me on that.
That's probably sketchy at this point if somebody sends you mail.
Sending me a letter.
Yes.
Look for a white van.
We will pay you.
I mean, being the Jim Thorpe, I believe they still communicate in letters.
Yeah, we have homing pigeons going everywhere. The bird shit is unimaginable.
Right.
No, but no, he sent me a message through Facebook saying, hey, show up to one of our rehearsals, just sit on it, get a feel for it, come to our next show, and then we'll put you into the show for May. This was in April of 2014.
It's kind of an interesting process that they have there. Like, what else has that thing where they're like, yeah, just show up, and like next time, you'll have a chance or something?
Well, actually, the way it ended up going is I was at the rehearsal, and if you've ever been to the Mock Chunk Opera House, they have this big balcony, and I love to sit on the balcony and look down over everything. And they're doing a rehearsal with full mic setup and everything, and there was a part that needed to be filling, and it was in this really bawdy sketch called Shitmouth Town.
Nice.
About this dystopian Victorian English town. Yeah, it's
I wonder what
crazy.
that one's about.
Getting an entire English town hooked on chewing tobacco. That's the entire premise. And they needed someone to do a, English voice number 3. I was like, all right, I could do that. So I just walked up to the microphone and was like, hey, you come in here again. I'll throw you something proper over there, right, mate? Have me another beer, Susie. And that was it. And I was in the show. It was April of 2014. And I've been going steady with the band the group ever since.
That's what I mean.
I'm with the boys in the band.
You
Yeah,
can just
no.
be at the right place at the right time and you get it. And it's it's just interesting. There's nothing else that's really like that.
Yeah, we really stumble across some very talented artists, and not just actors. I mean, we have people who are writers from Brooklyn. We have some writers from Philadelphia. Obviously, our director Joe has a lot of content that he's written over the years, and he'll morph that into a sketch that we can do on the show, and for better or worse. And I've actually had some 2 young guys who I really admire. They do a lot of video work, and if you look on our YouTube, 40 Story Radio Tower, we have a YouTube channel, and we made two short films. One was called Patriot Hose, and this was, of course, after the 2016 election. And it was basically about these like stockings that people wore that were all like patriotic. And so it was a satire on like this, crazy patriotic people. I got my patriot hose and I don't care how crazy it make me look. And it was like a commercial. And it was the funniest thing. And then the most recent one we did, which I starred in, was a parody. This was just after the It remake came out. Ooh. So we did a parody called Shit.
Nice.
And I was the kid that they fed to the clown.
Nice.
You were Georgie?
Yeah.
Georgie
I
Denenberg?
was Georgie. But yeah, and I'm really looking forward to us experimenting with a lot of film stuff, not just doing our live shows and doing the podcasts, because this could really be our group a great template for artists to just get their stuff out there. But it's been slow. We've been a bit of a hiatus for a while, and I'm very happy to say we're coming back. We are doing a live show in October at the Mock Chunk Opera House. It's a Halloween show. I believe, I can't remember the name of our musical guest, but she's an absolute riot. She's like cabaret, vaudeville. She's like stand-up comedy while she plays her stuff and she sings. So it's going to be a bit more of a Halloween themed show, which those are always fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we're coming back at it. I'm very happy for that.
Coming out of the gate hot.
I thought you just said the podcast was on hiatus. I wasn't sure that you did something else so regularly there that was also on hiatus, but also coming back.
No, it's just the podcast. I mean, I've actually been away for a while, and I had done some acting at a community theater in Tamaqua, and I ran there for a solid like 2-3 plays. It was weird. I went from, if you're familiar with the play Our Town by Thornton Wilder, it's an absolute masterpiece. But I ended up playing like, man number 3.
Right.
I
British
think
voice
yeah,
number 3.
There you go. Actually, one of the first roles I did at that theater was I was Talking Tree number 2 in a production of Oz.
I've always wanted that role, actually.
Yeah, well, I would have given it to you because I quit that thing. I could not do it. I don't do ensemble. Like as an actor, I think that as my strong suit, and I don't say this like to toot my own horn or anything, but I think my strong suit is really my voice. I'm not the best singer, I admit this, but I think that speaking can be really a lot of what I can do as an actor. So when they're teaching me the whole step, shift, steps, shuffle ball, change shit, like I can't do that. I can't keep up with it, and I told them that I don't do this. This isn't what I do. Come back to me when you're doing like a drama or a comedy or stuff. So, Christian, we're doing a production of Our Town. You want to audition? Yes! I'll do it! That led to another thing, and the next play I was in was called Arsenic and Old Lace, which was originally a play produced in 1941, and then an excellent Cary Grant film in 1946, co-starring with Peter Lorre. I actually played Peter Lorre's character, Dr. Einstein, because the reason I got the job is because I could do a German accent, and he was supposed to be this drunken German surgeon who followed around Johnny, who was the main villain. He was supposed to be all nervous, and I could do that voice, so they cast me. But I haven't been up there in a while. So there hasn't been a lot of artistic outlets for me in a while, but I'm very glad that 40 Story is starting to, move the ball
Pick back up again and get rolling.
Yeah, really.
I want to go back to the very first day. No, I want to go back to just some childhood stuff. What I hear a lot from people who would, I think, sort of relate to you in the sense that their strong point is their voice. They'll often talk about how that's what they use to get the attention of their parents. It was their voice and the funny things that they could do. Like thinking of other actors who have said this similar thing. Is that something you can relate to?
Okay, I have 2 questions. One, can the microphone hear me from back here?
I don't know.
Okay. Should I actually like leaning in closer to do
fine.
this?
You could be like, here's fine.
Okay, my second question
long as
is,
you're looking
are you
at
a
it.
licensed psychiatrist?
Do you really want to know?
Actually, yes.
No, I'm not. I can't
Okay, but
help
I'll
you,
answer your
dude.
questions
Sure.
anyways. Okay. The voices for me, it wasn't so much like trying to get attention or anything. It's just, I don't know. I just had fun with it.
Right.
Like, I could watch movies, and I loved like Batman the Animated Series, and, like all the old cartoons and stuff. And like I just loved some of those voices or some of the accents because I grew up on a lot of BBC. I mean, I'm wearing a Doctor Who t-shirt right now, so I love Doctor Who. And I watched tons of that
Is
when
Christopher Eccleston your favorite?
One of my favorites, yeah,
I
actually.
liked him a lot. I've only
I
watched.
wish she had more time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Really, yeah. In a lot of stuff. I mean, you don't see him in anything much outside of Doctor Who. I mean, yeah, okay, so he was a villain in Thor 2, but it was Thor 2.
Wait, he was a villain in Thor 2? I saw that movie and I had no idea.
Yeah. I saw that movie too, and I had no idea about anything going on in that movie.
I did not enjoy that movie very much.
No, me neither.
I'm going to butt in and say, I believe he just came out with an autobiography.
Christopher Eccleston?
Yeah.
So everybody at home, everybody listening at home, make sure to pick up the Christopher Eccleston autobiography
To
hear about his one season.
I'd love to see
Doctor Who.
the Venn diagram of like poorly edited podcast fans and then Doctor Who fans and like how much overlap there is. Probably not much.
That should be interesting.
I don't remember what we were saying.
I
I wanted
the
to know.
voices.
Yeah.
The voices.
Well, Doctor, I've always been a little bothered by the voices.
Yeah, I don't want to
They
know about
give me
that. I
rest
really
at all.
don't. I'm
No,
not qualified for that, dude. Sorry.
No, it's just like I picked it up. You know, I'd watch something, just a movie where there's a person with like, an English accent or Scottish accent, and as I continue to watch, I figured out I could do that voice right. It's just I figured out it's all sort of like a certain rhythm and timbre. It's a lot of it when you do an accent. It really comes down to a rhythm and. It's not so much pronunciation as it is.
It's like how you place stuff in your mouth.
It is.
Is that part of
Really.
it?
It's like a lot of tone. Tone and rhythm, I think, is really where it goes to. Like, if I was doing an EastEnder, right, in London, right, you've seen it. You've seen it on television shows. I'm not talking about this. They're from London, right? But if I do someone from Australia, right, it's slightly different. It's a very similar rhythm, but you notice that the tone changes. Like all the vowel, as I like to say, all the vowel sounds go out the window. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah.
And I could just pick up on that for some reason when I watched movies and TV shows. It was just like, I can do this. I never had any place where I could do it.
Yeah.
Right.
And thus, acting.
I don't think I ever would have thought about accents in that way had you not said it, because I'm not an actor and I don't do accents or anything like that. To me, it's just like, well, try to imitate it.
Yeah, some actors, a lot of their bread and butter as performers comes down to their ability to do voices. One of my favorite actors, top 5, Gary Oldman.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dude, he's a chameleon.
Seriously, and like he can do so many voices and so many impressions, and people don't know it. Like I talked to my some of my friends. I think it's the Call of Duty games when they do like the World War II games.
Yeah, he's Reznov.
Isn't
Yeah. And it's just
so
incredible.
weird.
Yeah, and people have no idea that that's him. And just the stuff he can do. Another voice actor who I really like is Clancy Brown, actually, who you would all know as Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob.
Okay, yeah.
Or if you're into cult classics like me, the Kragan from Highlander, the original Highlander. Is it the Kragan? I can't remember. He was the villain in that. He's like,
That's your field, dude.
if you've never seen Highlander, go home and watch it. It's like crazy 1980s science fiction, just awesome.
Okay.
It's the best.
So
I
it's,
like it.
it's weird that this is happening today because there's a Wired series where they have a dialect coach come in and he just dissects accents from movies.
Oh, I've seen that, yeah.
And they just put another episode today, and I saw it, and I like it. I love that. I love that series so much. It's so interesting. It's just like
They dissect accents.
yeah, like they'll have like a clip of an actor in a movie, and he'll be like, "Here's what they're doing well. Here's what they're doing wrong." He always has something to
okay.
nitpick, which is really cool.
Okay.
He did an episode on like, conlangs too, which is like fake languages. Like
Okay.
So I can't
Well,
believe
he
I'm forgetting
just-
this.
he
What's
just-
the
he just-
Elvish language from Lord of the Rings?
Sindarin.
Sindarin, yeah. Like
And yeah.
he breaks down different actors in Lord of the Rings speaking Sindarin.
Okay.
And like Viggo Mortensen's good at it because he can speak like 6 languages fluently or something. I don't know.
Because
We'll talk about
he's from
chameleon.
Europe.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want to talk about another chameleon actor, Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
The car movie
Yeah.
with the dude from what's it called? It's like the
You know
Green-
that
it's like the
movie
Green
where he's
Book
with
or
the
something,
guy.
right?
You guys
and they're
are really
doing a
helping me
thing.
out.
It's coming out. Viggo Mortensen's in it. It's a movie coming out. We're not promoting it. You
I
can
swear
tell.
it's like the Green Book or something like that.
Something like that. But like, he's amazing because he goes from doing stuff like Aragorn in Lord of the Rings to then just so much other stuff where you can't even tell it's him, except for that cleft in his chin.
Yeah. That's the so you know it's Viggo.
Yeah, right.
If I ever see an actor on screen, I look for the cleft. It's there. It's Viggo.
Turns out.
Well,
I'm sorry, sir.
No, it's your show.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Because I don't want it anymore.
You don't want to
have it.
This is actually an offer.
Take the words out of my mouth.
I couldn't.
No, I was gonna say it's funny how you can tell who somebody is by how they look. It's crazy.
I wish you would have said your thing instead of that.
I did everything I could to give that to you.
I shouldn't have given you that.
I did everything I could.
You did fine.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh boy.
So, more. I want to try to forge the path here. So that's what those.
Like the One Ring. From
like the One Ring. So it wasn't the voice thing wasn't necessarily a way to get attention, but it was just something you sort of discovered.
Yeah.
So when did that transition into acting? Like, did you do certain things in elementary school maybe that sort of pushed you in that direction?
Well, you see, doing any sort of drama in Jim Thorpe, you were one of two people who took drama classes and were actually really invested in the art, or people who were, I don't know, related to school board members who always got the lead roles in the musicals that they put on.
Is this an expose? Are we gonna?
Yeah, this is an expose.
Are we gonna throw Jim Thorpe?
This is
into
the Watergate
chaos?
file of the Jim Thorpe drama program. No, but seriously, they'll do Footloose, some Disney musical, Footloose, some Disney musical, Oklahoma, some Disney musical, Footloose, Grease, Footloose, and then some Disney musical.
Okay.
And you know what? It's almost the exact same students or their younger siblings playing all of the roles. And none of them are any good. Okay, I was in one of them. I was okay.
Were you Kevin Bacon?
No.
Oh.
I was Chef Louis in Little Mermaid. Because I was the only... the French accent.
Yeah,
there
right.
you go.
Yeah.
I was the only person who... It's not because I'm a very good singer. I, as a rule, don't do musicals. But I could... Yeah, it's a good rule.
Yeah.
But
I like how as a rule makes it sound like that you could do it if you wanted to.
Right.
You're just like, I'm really dedicated to this specific type of theater, instead of being like, I can't sing, so I don't do musicals.
yeah.
Well, no, it's good to know your limits. I shouldn't do podcasts. So, shit. But,
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I don't think it was really so much my singing talent that got me that part as it was the fact that I was the only person who could do a French accent
Yeah.
and sing passively.
So speaking of Saturday Night Live,
Oh.
there's always... I mean, I feel like if you're doing voice, you have to talk about Bill Hader, just because he's insane about what he can do. Him and, like, Fred Armisen, they can do literally every accent they wanted to, which is... Oh, my God.
There are so many very talented actors on Saturday Night Live who just turn into other people. I mean, I know there's a rule in the show that I'm not supposed to talk about this, but when Alec Baldwin plays a certain 45th president of the United States...
Which 45th?
Donald.
Okay.
He just gets lost in that. I think, and he does it incredibly. Did you see Black Klansman?
No, I wanted to. My friend saw it without me, so I didn't want to go alone.
Okay. You should definitely see it.
Yeah.
And this is just an unlicensed spoiler for the Black Klansman movie. I can only say it with two words, but Alec Baldwin.
Okay.
I didn't even realize Alec Baldwin was in that movie. So
Neither did I when I went to go see it. The only actor I recognized when I went out to see it was Adam Driver.
Adam Driver's in that?
wow.
Well, now you know.
Dude, you're killing this for me. I can't see it
Spoiled.
anymore.
Why should we go?
I've actually been trying to not watch trailers lately, just because they seems like they put all the best parts in the trailer. And it doesn't make any sense.
I don't like trailers for that reason.
I actually was really surprised when. Do you guys remember when The Force Awakens was coming out?
Oh yeah.
And it was like,
dude, Force Awakens promotional material was amazing though.
Yeah, that's what I love. The trailers that they had coming out, it's like they gave away nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
even
okay,
the posters,
yeah.
it has Finn holding the lightsaber instead of Rey. I'm like, this is amazing.
That was incredible.
You know what's funny though is I got a commemorative cup from like Walmart or something that was $1, and it has a spoiler on it that Poe Dameron's standing next to Chewie instead of Han. Han's not on the cup at all. So they inadvertently spoiled The Force Awakens.
What I like is if you put in the DVD for Revenge of the Sith, it shows Palpatine like turning on the Jedi. It's like I know like everybody they know, but
they
still
know.
if you don't and you're actually watching Star Wars for the first time.
If you haven't figured it out by this point,
Phantom Menace, they show the second half of the Darth Maul's lightsaber, which is actually really aggravating because that would have been so cool to see for the first time in theater.
So we're all like, very strong Star Wars fans here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I actually
sure,
did not go and see Solo.
I haven't seen it
I didn't
either.
bother. Okay, so right.
I don't have any desire to.
care.
But have you heard about the quote unquote big spoiler that they're now releasing about it?
No. You gonna drop?
ready
it
for
here?
this?
It's another expose.
Maybe. It's all over the internet now. So if you haven't seen this already, we're gonna tell you now. Okay, this is a
Hit me with it.
yeah. So apparently, the crime syndicate that Han Solo was working for in that film was run by Darth Maul.
Does that make any sense?
That makes no sense at all.
Okay.
I didn't even see the film.
like? Do you know a lot about or anything about the EU at all?
The expanded universe?
Yeah, for
For me,
Star Wars.
It doesn't matter anymore.
I'm
I don't, but I'm like I don't know. Is
I'm-
that a thing
I'm-
that I should know about? If Chandler was here, he would be
Chandler,
upset.
yeah.
I'm kind of a purist with what I consider canon
I am too.
in Star Wars. For me, it's the prequels, the original films, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the 3D animated one, not the 2D animated one, although the 2D animated one was pretty good, and these new films. Oh, and Rogue One, and like all the spin-off films.
Sure.
Although I do have my problems with Solo. Like if they release a full-length film that's Star Wars,
Yeah.
that's Star Wars.
Yeah.
If Disney is going to create some show to put on Disney XD and say it's Star Wars, it's not Star Wars. I don't care who puts their stamp of approval on that. Ain't. But then again, that's the thing. The canon and the expanded universe have changed so much. It's like they rewrite the canon with
Yeah.
every
It's like comic
movie.
books where like literally every four, like you just restart a storyline after a character dies, and it's like this is him in this version, and you're like, dude, I just saw Captain America die.
I hate people who go like deviating. I hate people who watch Marvel movies and then like, they say like, oh yeah, I know so much about how these movies are gonna go because I read the comic books. You have no freaking clue. Okay,
Yeah.
they
Yeah, they
take
love that
influence
like that.
from
You know
the
what's
comic
annoying though
books.
is that now I keep like in the last couple of years I've gotten very into Reddit as
I
you do.
never no.
But it's always like I see stuff where it's like, hey, this person's contract's up, so they're gonna die or they're gonna be gone, and I hate it. I don't know. I just keep seeing it. I'm
What?
like, this is like it, like for instance, this happened. I was sitting on that couch right there. I was waiting for Zach to get here.
You're sitting on that couch.
I was sitting on that couch.
Oh my God.
This is a scene from an hour ago.
On that
I was
couch.
reading that apparently someone's gonna die in the next season of Modern Family. They're gonna kill somebody
Oh,
off.
because they're okay.
Ed O'Neill, who plays, I'll say Al Bundy, but it's a different show. Al Bundy Part 2, his contract runs out, so it's probably going to be him. Like, that's just how things kind of work now, and now that stuff's more...
You know what? I was never really invested in Modern Family, but shit. That was something my girlfriend watched. It's like when we watch a show together, we will watch Friends, and I didn't have the heart to tell her that I'm not that into Friends. But I don't have the heart to tell anyone I'm not that into Friends. And
You just told like
Okay.
all of your listener
You told like
base,
50 people.
your entire listener
couple
base, all
people.
3 of them.
Yeah.
No, it's a good show, but my favorite sitcom of all time, and people hate me when I tell them this, has always been and always will be Frasier.
Okay.
I love Frasier.
That seemed...
Didn't like
could,
Cheers.
I could probably
Love
call
Frasier.
that,
I can see you as a
honestly.
Frasier guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she watched Modern Family, and I didn't get into it, but because even when you watch it in passing,
Also, I have no idea
it's
if
dumb.
that might not happen at all.
If that might not happen.
It's all speculation.
Do we have time?
So how do you
we're
feel about Arrested Development?
I actually never watched it, but
It's some of my favorite sitcom writing.
who's the lead actor in that? I know I like.
Jason... Oh, I mean, there's a bunch. Jason Bateman.
Yeah, I like
Jason
him.
Bateman's really good in it.
Isn't
so-
David Cross also in it?
David Cross is fantastic
I
in
love
it.
him.
He might... I think he kind of steals the show in pretty much all his scenes because his character's so weird and like... I don't want to spoil anything because honestly,
No,
it is a show you should watch. It's
Really?
Like,
See, I don't have the time to watch shows. Okay,
Yeah.
like for me, you see, I'm a go big or go home TV person. I will watch. Actually, I did. I watched the entire new season of BoJack Horseman on Netflix. Not a sponsor. In one sitting because I am a man.
No one's gonna believe that we're sponsored by BoJack Horseman.
Oh, good.
Gotta get that BoJack Horseman sponsor. That's good money, dude.
Dude, Will Arnett also in Arrested Development though, and he plays
Really?
kind of the same character. He's a washed-up magician, which is really funny.
Okay, that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But no, like for me, like when a new season of BoJack Horseman comes out, I don't stagger it. I don't say I'll watch 2 episodes with lunch, and then I'll go on with the rest of my life. I will stay up until 4 a.m. finishing the new season, and I will cry in my bed until 6 a.m. because that shit is emotionally traumatic. But you know
shows.
what? I can't wait for the next season.
Yeah, that is kind of how Netflix shows are put out though. It's kind of
Yeah.
like
it's just
it's
the
like,
generation
I mean,
of
they
people
don't
watching
they're-
things right now. It's just
It's
how
also
it is.
just seems to be set up in a way that's like
They give you
how
all
they-
the content right
It's
there.
like we'll give you all of it, and it's kind of just strung together, so it could just be one huge movie.
Yeah. Well, that's actually my thing is because I don't know if it's because I don't have the attention span or what. I just don't get invested in TV shows. Doctor Who I make an exception for, and like I said, I watched one of my new favorite shows, One Punch Man. I sat down, I saw that one entire sitting because I was hooked. But that's how I work
Isn't
on
that
TV
like
shows.
super long?
One Punch Man?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention.
Okay.
But no, I'm actually more of a movies guy.
Yeah.
I like to just sit down, watch a movie. It has a beginning, it has an end, it has all the good stuff in the
Yeah.
middle.
I just
Hopefully.
And then they do franchises. And
I'm
it's like-
kind of
Yeah.
I'm like the kind of guy that like my family watches like sitcoms over dinner, so we always have something we're watching. So I've seen Psych like 4 times. I love Psych.
Oh, my best friend loves Psych. I watched it a little.
It's good if you like references to 80s movies, which for some reason I love, even though I don't watch a lot of 80s movies. Like them and like the YouTube channel Funhouse constantly
You're just here for the
80s.
references.
It's like they make I feel like I get references about stuff I've never seen just because I've heard like more references about it.
You begin to get like a...
It's referential learning.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. You only
Where I
know
can
about
get
it because
yeah, I
you've
can
heard so
get
many references
that happens
to it.
with a lot of stuff.
I'm
actually.
sure it does.
And then I just don't like to admit that I haven't seen thing like Fight Club, where I would have gotten pretty much
Right.
every reference you could have made about Fight Club but I watched it like earlier this year.
Yeah.
I think there are some movies that... Is my voice getting kind of craggly?
Check the levels.
Yeah, right.
I can't see it.
It's up, but we're not even recording.
We're not great.
Yeah.
So I can go?
Yes.
Awesome.
Wish it was that easy, dude.
No,
I can make it that easy.
I think... No, I think that there are some movies that are like so ingrained in the American psyche and in our culture. Because let's face it, our culture is kind of grown up around
Yeah.
movies.
Especially like Marvel right now is literally
in
by
a huge way.
By like osmosis, you can understand what's going on with the Marvel universe, even though you've never seen
Yeah.
It's going to be weird to talk to the people that have actually grown up with that series. That were just at the right age when Iron Man came
I mean,
out.
I was
loved it,
12
and
when
just-
I was 10 when Iron Man came out, so that's me.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't remember how old I was.
It was 10 years ago.
maybe that is.
Okay,
I
so I might have
believe-
been like 8 or 9.
I'm thinking like that, like
Yeah.
8, 7, and then
Yeah.
up.
But
Okay, I'm sorry I missed that gap.
Well,
I missed
listen,
that
you know
grade by
what?
1 year.
You snooze, you lose, pal.
there are some films that are just like such a part of our culture
Mm-hmm.
that even if you've never seen them, you kind of understand the ideas that come out of
Or-
them. Star Wars, The Godfather.
Do you think that's
Lord of the
why
Rings.
all the reboots are happening now? Like the Predator movie just came out. That's supposed to like I don't know if it's reboot or just cashing in, but you think it's like because I'm guessing a lot of people actually haven't seen Predator. But they'll be
Predator
like,
was a big deal.
Predator's a
It-
big
it
deal.
is a big
so
deal.
you think people who now haven't seen Predator but hear references about Predator, like I should go see a new Predator movie because Predator's cool?
Probably,
Can
yeah.
I go on a rant about remakes?
Sure, dude.
I mean,
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
we're kind
yeah.
of like time limited.
No,
but...
that's cool. We can go whenever you want.
I'm gonna cut most of this.
Great.
These videos actually going to be 4 minutes long. So.
Yeah. I've actually really turned off some friends with this opinion. I hate the Ghostbusters remake.
I've never seen it.
The all
I
girl
have never
one?
gotten around to
It's
it.
awful. And
Is there
there's
more than one
There's
remake?
one
no idea.
thing. There's one thing that killed it for me. The fact that they decided to just make it a completely different, separate universe where the Ghostbusters are women.
Really? Oh, wait.
Like-
so they've never been men? It wasn't like
In this
it didn't
universe,
add it on. It
No,
was, what?
they.
Did you not know this?
No, I
This
didn't
is the,
I didn't
this
see
is
this
the worst
movie.
thing
Have
about
you
the
not
movie.
seen the old Ghostbusters?
I've seen the old Ghost.
Then what are you
better have.
talking about?
But
No, I know the old Ghostbusters had what?
Never mind. I lost what you were saying, man. Let's just
Wait,
keep
so this is a
moving.
different. This is a different
it's a
universe.
different universe
than Ghostbusters.
Then Ghostbusters.
Okay, that's what.
That's what I hated.
That's what I'm
because
mad.
they purposely went out of their way to show the original cast from Ghostbusters in cameo bits
Oh, they
all
did?
throughout the movie, but never once did they like have a scene like maybe I don't know where one of them showed up and passed along the torch to a younger generation of Ghostbusters. No, they just decided let's redo Ghostbusters, and you know what? Let's give them vaginas.
Plus, Bill Murray is like the perfect person to have come into the movie and be a grizzled old dude who doesn't approve of anything. they
Because
do.
he is a grizzled old dude.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wes Anderson.
I'm mad too now. What else can we be mad about?
Well, another thing, some remakes are absolutely unnecessary, and
I'm just not a fan of remakes
Yeah, what
for
about-
the sake. Like,
here's one.
I'm
What about
just not
it?
interested.
What about-
some are okay.
Is it count as a remake because it's an adaptation of a book
was-
that was already adapted into a?
That's a big water bottle, dude. That is a big water.
I was really hoping you just drink that without acknowledging it. Like that's commonplace here for some reason.
I thought I could sneak it by without anybody noticing, but
No, man. That's Let's.
Look, I'm really excited
there
for
we
it.
go.
Is the bottom line.
I think
it
it is
chapter
different.
2. Bill Hader as Richie Tozier is going to be the best thing in the world.
It is different, I think, because they're doing it in a different way.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
The
think
original It movie was totally different.
if you kind of got at the source material, like if there's a source material that you're basing this off of, and you kind of miss the mark when you're making it, like they did with you. Nothing against the original It, but I kind of felt like it was a little off the mark than the actual source material.
Yeah.
So remaking it makes sense. Citing another Stephen King novel, The Shining, the movie kind of hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
And I think that to do a remake of The Shining
That'd be
is
stupid.
just disrespectful.
Yeah.
And
Also, you can't top
yeah.
Jack Nicholson's performance
They
anyway.
would have to bring him back.
There are some like thriller films that like are really good, much like The Shining, that they shouldn't remake, and some of them they have. Like, do you all remember the remake of Psycho with Vince Vaughn?
No.
Look it up. It's horrible. It's horrible.
So you also a large fan of Stephen King?
I won't lie to you. I've actually never read a single Stephen King novel.
That's disappointing.
And yeah,
Especially
my
since you were
English professor hates
you were
me
just
for it.
critiquing Amres's book collection, which is pretty.
I
funny.
didn't see any Stephen King novels.
Oh
Did
no,
I
there's
miss
none
any?
over there.
There's
What?
some.
You have The Shining? What's over there? Oh no, you have It.
I think we could probably do a separate podcast just on Emrys's book collection. So we'll
But this
get
isn't
into
about
that.
her book collection.
You
It's
ever
about
heard of
my
the
book
fantastic
collection.
story Pet Cemetery?
I do know Pet Cemetery. They're doing a remake of that one.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
The first one was really campy. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I think that's also another thing about remaking
Should it not
Stephen
be
King
campy?
stuff.
I mean, it sounds kind of campy just in concept.
Pet Cemetery?
Yeah.
I think there's definitely nuances of the novel that they didn't get in the movie. Like there's not to spoil Pet Cemetery. I don't want to spoil Pet. So.
I haven't heard this story a million times.
But there's literally like a scene in the book where like I don't know if this is relevant now. I just want to talk about Pet Cemetery. There's a scene in the book where like you see this kid, you hear this kid get hit by a car. It happens in the story, and then the next chapter is telling that kid's life story after he gets hit by the car, where like he didn't, and he like grew up, and he like he was like an Olympic
Not
swimmer or
dead.
something. Yeah, no, he did all this great stuff with his life, and the next chapter it brings you back, and it's like the kid died, and his dad was just thinking about what could have happened.
Nice.
That hit really hard when I read the book, and in the movie it's just like a cat jumping
Stephen
around
King,
a lot.
you are a psychopathic madman.
Yeah, that might be like the most I've felt about a character dying in a book. I don't know why, but it was like so like because the entire time you're reading that chapter, establishing the rest of his life, you're like, this can't be real. But it's like you're hoping as much as the dad is that it's real. That it's like I love Stephen King.
I think that there are some movie adaptations of Stephen King's work that, like Pet Cemetery, merit a remake.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Children of the Corn.
I think they totally just cashed in on the fact that Stephen King was a good writer, and like they
Yeah.
made The Shining, and we can just make other books too into movies, and they didn't do it justice.
Yeah, I think Children of the Corn is not the best Stephen
I
King
haven't seen
adaptation.
Children of the Corn.
I actually think it was like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah, I think a lot.
It looks the part.
There's actually I think a bunch of Stephen King movies that were made for TV, which really hurts me. Cause like I want to go back and watch the Stand miniseries, cause that book
Oh yeah, they did make a miniseries out of that.
with Rob Lowe in it, in a role where he didn't speak. Cause
Sounds like a Rob Lowe part I like.
Got him.
dang,
Jeez.
out here blasting Rob Lowe. I can't speak today at all. Oh my god.
Now, I want to make sure we have enough time to talk about your very exciting summer.
I had an exciting summer.
I don't know. You tell me.
It's kind of on you.
But I heard you traveled.
I did.
Why did you travel? Where did you travel?
Why not?
Okay.
Sweden.
Okay.
Next question.
We're done. That's it. Thanks
Okay,
for coming
great.
up, dude. It's
That's
been
the
a
show.
blast. It's been really fun. Why'd you go to Sweden?
Now he's really getting the
Right,
answers
we're
out of
actually
me.
we're the police. We're actually yeah.
Is that why there's all these
We're
garish
the TSA.
lights?
Yeah.
We're the TSA. This is actually what this is about.
I actually met my girlfriend during my senior year of high school. She was an exchange student from Sweden, and
Did you immediately go, oh, jeez, I think this is going to be rough?
she did.
Jeez.
We need to work that gag into more stuff.
we
It's,
do.
it's comical every time. Not to get.
How do you approach this?
We can come back to this if you'd like. Cause I'd like to.
What else? What else is on the agenda? To
I have a
talk
different.
about here.
I have a really nerdy perspective of Sweden because I'm very into professional video gaming. So Sweden is a powerhouse in that scene. So that's always interesting.
You are aware that the Swedish government has officially disowned PewDiePie?
Yeah, not about that. I don't care about PewDiePie.
Okay,
I'm talking
good.
about, I'm talking about like pro Counter-Strike players and stuff, because
Okay.
like Sweden's very
Fun fact,
proficient in that scheme.
Yeah, fun
scene.
fact actually, my girlfriend lived in the same building as PewDiePie for a time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did the Swedish government actually disown him?
I don't know, but I feel like they have.
Does she have any stories about that? Like, did that ever cause any? Like, did
Well, I
people
don't
like
think she's-
find out where he lived and try to like break into his?
I
Like, I feel like you can't live in the same building as PewDiePie and not have a story other than that.
The same beauty pie as PewDiePie.
that ever really came up. I mean, I could call her up and ask about it, but no, I don't think any stories really ever came up. But this was when she lived in Gothenburg, and when I was in Sweden, we lived in our hometown of Umeå, which is in the north. It's like the population center of the far northern part of Sweden. Okay. It's kind of like Allentown, but slightly bigger and a hell of a lot cleaner.
You went all the way to Sweden for Allentown?
I went all the way to Sweden to actually ever try Korean food.
Really?
Okay.
That's
yeah, and
interesting.
Indian food, oddly enough.
That's always weird when there's like, okay. That's always weird when you go to like apparently where is it? I think the Brazilian Chinese food is like way different than the rest of the world's Chinese food.
Brazilian
and so you could
everything's
go to
different than-
Brazil and have Chinese food and it'd be like way different than any Chinese food you ever had in your life.
We'll
That
have
always
to
blows
ask
my
our
mind.
resident Brazilian about that. See if he knows.
It might be Japanese food. Oof. I don't know. I just blew it, dude.
Yeah.
The food is excuse me. The food is slightly different. I think a lot of that comes down to like the different regulations they have on food imports and exports. Like Coca-Cola, right? I'm kind of a craft soda nut. Like,
Crafts.
you know, like they do. They have like craft sodas.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of a nut for that. And what I really love is when you get like Mexican Coca-Colas.
Yeah.
Because I think like their version of the FDA down in Mexico says that you can only do like pure like cane sugar,
Yeah.
like all organic sugar for sweetener. So like the Coca-Cola that you can get from Mexico is like 100% like sweeter, more flavorful than stuff we had here. Plus there's the added benefit that there's real cocaine in it. So
Yeah.
you know.
Good.
It's always nice.
That's my one anti-Mexico joke for the day. I'm sorry.
It's all right. That's fine.
Look, it's not anti-Mexico. It's
not, no.
They just have a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about
Mexico, it's time to
just
admit
not
you
by
have a
us.
problem.
We should this is not our discussion, but someone should talk about it. Someone smarter than us. We're gonna do some hard questions now.
Hard question.
Is Elton John a rock star? In your
No.
opinion? No. Why not?
Does
He's a
that
rocket man.
matter?
He's a rocket man.
He's a rocket man. He's not a rock star. He's a rocket man.
Okay. All
I
right.
guess he's right.
I just won this discussion.
Is that when you rock so hard that
name
you're
him.
not even a rock star? Is that what you're getting at?
He's ascended above the rest of the rock stars.
I mean, he really has. I mean, there are some artists. I shouldn't get in depth in this. I really could, but I shouldn't.
care, dude.
You don't care?
I'm excited.
There are some artists that I think that despite their solo careers, like the amount of writing and influence that they have on other artists doesn't make them really a star anymore. It makes them a legend. Willie Nelson, Sia, Elton John.
Are those the
Those
big
the only
three?
That's the only three I can think of. Right now.
Eminem?
Has he done a lot of writing for other people's work?
No, but I think the impact he's had in the industry is insane.
I could see that. And he's a
You
rap
think
god.
impact is as important as writing for
That's
like
true.
writing
Yeah, I
for
But
think
then again-
you have to define legend.
because writing for other people
Yeah.
insinuates that they couldn't do it themselves. Not, but if you inspire
You're saying
someone,
that Sia couldn't do it herself?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you write for someone else, that means they're singing your song. If you inspire someone to figure out how to write very well, then they're singing their own songs that were inspired by someone.
That's true. But then again, legacy isn't everything because Willie Nelson was a legend of country music, and then we saw where country music is today.
I know, yeah.
So
There's the-
it's not.
I always
country,
love that
pop
when
country.
it like a genre takes a complete right turn. Like
It doesn't.
it's
Take
like
it
not.
doesn't-
It's
Can I
like
go on another rant?
no, let me
I have a
finish my
couple.
rant
I'm gonna let
first.
you finish your rant, then I'm gonna back rant at you.
But I love when it's like a genre takes like a huge left turn, and then it's like, yeah, I was really inspired by the classics, and you're like, I don't see that at all.
Yeah,
And now your rant.
that was it.
That was it. Yeah, it was a
Okay.
very short rant.
I had a discussion with a friend of mine who he and I have actually been thinking about starting up like a podcast or.
I don't recommend it.
You don't recommend
I
it?
don't recommend
No, okay. So maybe a YouTube channel then. Not even there. But like we get into very heated and opinionated discussions about music, mostly heavy metal. But we had a discussion about how pop, like when you put the pop onto something, it ruins the genre. Like, and you may not even know it. It may not. You might call it country these days, but it's pop country.
It's because they go for like the popular sound, which defines the genre then, and then it's like
And-
it's just become pop.
But doesn't that like end up actually negating what country's supposed to be?
Yeah, it just forms
Yeah.
into pop music.
It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Thank God this hasn't affected metal just yet. And
Just
again,
yet.
Metallica's last couple albums.
Yeah.
No, it's kind of interesting to think about the pop country thing, because for a very long time, country was actually the genre that sold the most records. Now, I haven't looked at the time frame. I wonder. I haven't done the research, Pat. I wonder, like, at what point did that stop in relation to the pop country transformation?
Well, I think that a lot of what's the popular sound these days really stems from like a lot of the pop music, or what you might have called like early, R&B or hip hop music that came out from like
I wonder
80s and
if,
stuff.
going off his point, I wonder if the emergence of computers and their effect on music has any correlation with the fact that pop country branched off from country.
That's a good point.
Because a lot of it is, I'm going to assume, digitally assisted.
Well, isn't most music now digitally assisted? Like, what do you define as
Depends,
digitally assisted?
There's some country I listen to these days. It's basically dubstep with a fiddle thrown in.
Ooh, that's okay. I'd listen to that. I don't say I'm going to like it, but I listen to it.
If you like that, I have two words
Sure.
for you: Lindsay Sterling.
Okay, thank you.
Lindsay
I
Sterling's
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
I'll-
She's great.
She's not. Is she pop country, though?
No,
Okay.
but it's kind of that. It's basically like dubstep with a violin.
Yeah. It is dubstep with a violin.
that sounds all right.
Dude, her cover of Radioactive is pretty sweet.
It is.
I think it's the last time I watched a Lindsay Sterling video, but
She hasn't released a lot of stuff recently, has
Did
she?
it?
I don't think I've seen anything. Like, I think the last thing I remember seeing that she actually put out on YouTube was like 2016.
okay. She's probably doing something more important with her life, or like, she's definitely
You'd
talented.
hope.
Yeah.
You'd certainly hope.
So indie rock. So it annoys you because you're annoyed it
You
defines
tell I'm
a
getting serious.
sound.
I'm taking the hat off.
You're annoyed because
Jeez.
indie music defines a sound and not necessarily their relationship with a label, which is actually what indie music is.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I was that way for a long time.
You're not anymore?
I care less than I used to.
Fair enough. I actually was going to be dating this girl. I was really into her. And obviously,
I already love where this is going.
if you're somebody like me, the thing that can make or break whether or not you're really into somebody is the books they've read and the bands they listen to.
Yeah.
If you're somebody like me. So, for instance, a very good friend of mine just asked, it is like the Tinder thing. I never bothered with it, where he saw on a girl's profile that she's a big metalhead. She likes heavy metal. I thought, oh, cool. He loved, he and I are huge metalheads. And then he asked her, so what's one of your favorite bands? And she comes back and says something like Asking Alexandria. And then it was just like, block. Be gone. Be gone, demon.
It's like we can check out those waves in the
Oh, nice. Those look good. Those look good.
the entire bar.
It's pretty good.
No, but seriously, and it's like, oh god, it ruins it. And there was this girl I was really into. I had a very similar situation happen where I asked her, so what kind of music are you into? She's like, I'm really into indie rock. And I was like, really? Because I've had like a lot of like really independent groups that have been on the show in 40 Story. I was just like, hey, maybe I could like introduce you to some people. What kind of bands do you like? And she goes on and she gives you the very standard list: Arctic Monkeys, the Black Keys, Damon Albarn. They don't. Some people still say Gorillaz is an indie rock band, but a lot of people just say it's Damon Albarn.
So you just named
solo
some of my
stuff.
favorite bands.
Yeah.
Although I only call them indie rock because that's the genre, I guess. I'm not like.
Which is ridiculous because it's not independent anymore.
I mean,
As you said.
But if enough people agree on a name for something, does it matter?
I still think it falls under the category of alternative when it comes to music.
Yeah, that's how I describe it usually.
But like
as alternative.
you can tell that an indie rock band is really an indie rock band when I tell people about the bands that we've had on the show. I'm gonna list off a few. You've probably never heard of them. Jeffrey Gaines.
No.
Hamill on Trial.
No.
Spottis Wood and His Enemies.
That one sounds cool.
He's kind of cool actually. It's like spoken word punk rock.
That sounds
Interesting.
He's actually really cool. And then last but not least, one of my absolute favorites, the Big Fat Meanies.
That sounds familiar.
based out of Bethlehem.
It's probably okay.
It does sound
We've
familiar,
been talking a lot of people. I only hit back some.
Oh.
This one's gonna be embarrassing because you were in the room when we did their podcast.
Yeah.
Run from the radio.
Yeah, okay, I was there.
Yeah. There's Airspace.
Never heard of him.
Yeah. What else do we know? We're from Antarctica. We just put an episode out today, but that was last week now. I don't know. Mandler. I haven't actually heard.
Oh, you haven't?
I just know they're
I don't know if you can drop. You can't just say it if
I
you
can say
haven't
whatever I want.
Okay. Say whatever you want, Pat. It's fine. It's your show.
But that's how you can tell they're a
Yeah.
real indie
Yeah.
rock band because it's
That's
you know,
also
it's underground. It's
I like that, but at the same time, it's like, it's really hard to be huge as an indie rock band.
Yeah, because you're not
So
an
it's,
indie rock band.
yeah,
anymore.
so it's like if you're into indie rock music, it's like, no one cares unless
Yeah.
you meet someone else who's actually into indie rock music.
Yeah. Then if you get that popular and your sound really takes off, you're alternative.
Yeah.
And then it's the worst when you have to change it because the music industry says so. Mumford and Sons.
How do you feel about the Arctic Monkeys? Have you listened to them?
I listen to them sparingly. I like their sound.
Okay.
You know, it's it's all part of that like alternative sound.
Yeah.
You know, and although each band kind of has like its own thing, yeah, they're good. I don't have strong opinions this way or that.
I was going to try to take it
Fine.
further, but we did this last week, so I shouldn't talk
Yeah,
about
no,
that.
we-
Did you spend an hour talking about the Arctic Monkeys?
We could have.
We talked about
almost-
we talked about the parallels between the Arctic Monkeys and the Beatles,
Yeah.
which is also interesting.
It's funny. I got into an interesting discussion with my best friend about the influence that the Beatles had on Black Sabbath.
Okay.
It was a short discussion.
I'm not as knowledgeable on that one. Yeah.
But anywho, next question. Oh, excuse me.
I don't know how we can smoothly transition this back into Sweden, but I want to go back to Sweden.
Can we?
I don't know.
Are we allowed?
We can figure this out. Let's see. Black Sabbath. We go death metal or something. I know Sweden's big into the metal
That's
scene.
already 2. And then 3. We did it in 3 steps. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good.
All right.
So
It's probably because, like, dude. Plus, metal concerts in Sweden must be sweet because everybody looks like all the Viking dudes come out. And that must be hardcore.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not even just the Viking dudes. The microphone can hear me from back here, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, probably can hear me. Right, metal in Sweden. I couldn't think of it. This is really funny. So yeah, you do have the Viking dudes, but at the same time, you still have like little scrawny dudes like me
Yeah.
who will go and see Cannibal Corpse at I can't remember the name of the big theater that they have in Stockholm. But metal is so big there. It's like here, the real music genre that's taking on and really is like defining the generation is rap.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I like some of it. It's not my thing, And whereas in Central Europe, it's the other way around. It's metal. Metal is the sound of. That's the sound.
It has been for a while. It's been dominant for
Yeah.
a while.
It really has. Especially after they abolished the discotheque. No, that's not true. No, but I saw, and people are proud of it. Like there are some people who are metal fans, or some people. Like I hate the trend people who wear Metallica shirts. They don't even like Metallica because the fashion
That annoys
statement.
me too.
I hate
I realize as soon as I start talking about how that annoys me, I sound annoying. So I don't know.
No, I hate that. I think that if you wear a shirt of a band that you don't even listen to, you're just.
After me the other
trash,
week, I'm
man.
like, for years I'd seen like Nirvana shirts at Kohl's. I'm like, I know they're cool, but I don't listen to them, so I'm not gonna buy this. And then I actually like sat down and listened to all of Nirvana stuff, and I'm like, I like them. I know the names of the songs now, so I'm gonna buy a Nirvana shirt.
I actually kind of flipped on my girlfriend once because she dragged me into a Forever 21. And you'd think that was reason enough for me to get angry at her. But it got worse because I went into a section at Forever 21 where they had a row of Def Leppard shirts for sale at a Forever 21.
I'm sure the Def Leppard crowd and teenage girls who shop at Forever 21.
Yeah, it's
that's a pretty big overlap. I
Back
feel
to that
like.
Venn diagram I won.
Yeah. No. It just...
Now, were they just like band tees, or were they like Forever 21 style clothes that said Def Leppard?
I'd buy a Forever 21 style Def Leppard.
actually,
shirt.
I don't know which is weirder.
Yeah, I think there were Forever 21 style shirts that had had Def Leppard like little logo or something on it. Oh my god, can't do that. But going back to Sweden, which
Yeah,
we can't.
please.
You notice how I purposefully try to take us away from talking about Sweden?
Did you not have a good time in Sweden?
I did.
Okay.
I did actually. No, I got to see quite a bit of it. I didn't travel outside of Sweden, although we had talked about taking a train down to Denmark when we were in Stockholm, because it's right there. But no, I got to see Umeå, which is lovely. It's in the north. We actually did a week in a place called Skyttefjell, which is in the Swedish mountains, just by the Norwegian border. Lovely trip. Just mountains, just came out of the earth like giant teeth, man. It was beautiful. And I got to see some of Stockholm, which was very nice as well. Old parts of Stockholm, new parts of Stockholm. Sweden's really beautiful. I like to say it's like a country in balance. And then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Right, yeah. Jeez. We should have ended this.
Oh, there's a reference.
God.
No.
We were over an hour somehow.
Oh.
That was a
I
fast
stop?
30 minutes.
No,
you're
we're
fine.
good.
Okay. Where was I going with that? Oh, yeah, so like it has
Avatar,
like
I think.
this. Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it has like this perfect balance between like urban areas and rural areas, and then like the old, because there's a lot of
Yeah.
old in Sweden, but then there's also a lot of new because it's a very modern country, and it's like there's no like conflict between that. It just all sort of just rests into its place.
That's
nicely.
kind of. I haven't traveled outside the United States at all. I wish I could say very much. So I didn't say that. No, I haven't done it all, and that's kind of what I want to do the most. Is that like old here means 300 years max.
Yeah.
Like, and old there means like 1,000 years maybe.
I had this interesting moment where I looked at my girlfriend when we were in Stockholm, and I said, "We are having coffee." They call it fika over in Sweden. It's an unofficial meal. It's basically a pastry and a cup of coffee.
I'm down with that, dude.
That's like
I'm down with that.
I
breakfast
gained
usually,
like
It is usually my
20
breakfast
pounds
now.
on fika alone. But we were stopping there for some fika at this little coffee shop, and I looked up at this plate that was just above the door, and I realized, I looked at my girlfriend and says, "Do you realize that the restaurant we're sitting in was built in 1650?
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's insane.
And all the buildings, and like the part of Stockholm that I liked the best was Gamla Stan, the old town.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say you really don't have to bother with the rest of Stockholm if you just go to Gamla Stan.
Really?
It's beautiful. I mean, yeah, you can see the rest of it. Like, there's some museums that are pretty nice, some castles, yeah. But Gamla Stan is just
That's another thing. I want to see a castle casually.
just casually go.
I want to
to the
like
castle.
be sitting at a restaurant and be like, oh, there's a castle over there.
Let's go check out the castle.
Check the castle.
Well, I mean, we have our fair share of like castles and nice houses here in America too. I mean, have you ever been to Gillette Castle up in Connecticut?
No.
I was there years ago. It actually belonged to William Gillette, the first actor ever to have played Sherlock Holmes.
Is he related at all to the Razor brand?
I ask and no.
Oh, God.
I'm glad we both went there though.
But no, it's a nice spot, nice little castle up in Connecticut. Well worth a trip. Well worth a trip. Not a sponsor. I don't know why I'm here. I'm not especially.
Let's run it back to
interesting.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Let's go back to the movie or the song. We gotta do a sing along.
Song I think has had enough said about it. Let's
Okay.
talk about the movie.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Did we lose you?
What's going on?
The movie Bohemian Rhapsody coming out with Rami Malek starring as Freddie Mercury.
That's going to be a thing?
It is.
Is it Mike Myers also in that?
I have no idea.
This is how out of the loop I
Apparently-
am.
Sacha Baron Cohen was originally going to be Freddie Mercury, but he dropped out. And I think the rumor was that the one band member wanted to make the script about just Queen and not Freddie, which I don't know why you do that. Because I mean, Queen is a very influential rock band, but if you make a Queen movie, I feel like it has to be about Freddie. So that's if they do that, I don't think I'll be happy with it. But if it's a movie about Freddie Mercury, I feel like Rami Malek can pull it off.
Yeah, he's a very talented actor.
Yeah, and the trailer looked promising, actually.
It does. It does.
How long has this been a thing?
It's been in the works for a while because it was going to be Sacha Baron Cohen. Then he
How long's a
backed
while?
out, so a couple
How long did it
years?
take to make a
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the only movie I'm really looking forward to anymore because we had a really bad movie season this year. Let's face
It wasn't great.
Like we had all of our summer blockbusters come out in spring.
Usually if I can sit down and be like, I want to go to the movies and pick a movie. This time it was hard, dude. Like, we wanted to go to the movie tavern that just opened up on Hamilton.
Yeah.
And we, like, sat and looked at what's showing, and we're like, we have to pick one of these.
Yeah, apparently like the most popular film right now is something called Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah. I actually heard that was alright. I haven't seen it. I heard good things from my sister and MRS, apparently.
I just heard the title and I said, oh god, we had so many good films for last year's season. I mean, and I saw them all. Loving Vincent, I waited 4 years to watch that movie and I was not disappointed, and they should not have given the Best Animated Picture award to Coco. I'm sorry. The Academy just has better start giving Pixar blowjobs at this point, okay? Okay? If Pixar makes a film and they make it in the category for Best Animated Feature, guess what film's winning Best Animated Feature? Not some film, by this little-known French company that crowdsourced all the money and hired, professional painters who know Van Gogh's style from across the world to hand
that was
paint
that one?
every frame of this film. Yeah,
I didn't watch it. I heard about that though. That
beautiful.
sounded
Every
insane.
frame is an oil painting done in Van Gogh's style. It's like the story. It's like Van Gogh's story told to the people he painted. Gorgeous movie.
That's really interesting.
And you know what? They gave the best animated picture win to Coco.
Okay.
Nothing against Coco, but come on!
All those award shows, you can't really take stock in what they give the award to.
Oh, you can't.
There's always. I mean, it's become a big deal, but it's always like political. It doesn't make any sense.
We watched them last time because we wanted to do a show around it, and it was just like, this is awful. Like, I don't want to watch this at all.
Or was this when they accidentally announced that La La Land?
Yeah, that was.
that
right?
was.
Yeah.
I think La La Land should not have won
just don't
on
care.
the basis of emotional trauma alone, because my girlfriend forced me to sit down and watch that, and I have no qualm saying I cried like a bitch.
Okay.
If you've seen it all the way through, if you've seen the ending of La La Land, I wept for a solid hour, and I still hate my girlfriend for making me watch that movie.
I have not seen it.
And $4 million.
I have no words about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, last year we had a great movie season. I mean, The Shape of Water, Best Picture winner, great film. This year we had Infinity War.
Which was good, but
Yeah,
not,
we had Black Panther.
yeah,
Also good.
Like it's
Was that 2018?
Yeah, it came out like what?
Jeez.
February, yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
where it's
Right.
like Marvel movies are cool and all, but I want a movie that's not a Marvel movie every once in a while.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you go to a Marvel movie, you know you're gonna have a good time.
Well, again, I'm kind of an indie film nut.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really excited about this Robert Redford movie coming out called Old Man with a Gun.
I mean, he fits the title role pretty well from what I know.
Really?
Which
Yeah,
is right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I'm excited for dude. It Chapter 2.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm really excited.
That was gret. That was really
Yeah.
good.
Thank you, Christian, for coming on. We had a good time talking about movies in Sweden, kind of.
Kind of.
Do you have anything you'd like to plug?
Oh yeah. If everybody could be ever so kind to look up my podcast group, 40 Story Radio Tower, and keep your eyes peeled for our return show.
Is there
Should be
anywhere
at some point in
specific
October.
they can go to find
there
it?
a
Or do they
website
just
or
We have a
YouTube channel?
website, we
Okay.
have a Facebook page, also our YouTube channel where you can, see me and our parody of it. And
Shit.
Yep, it was
Right.
absolute shit.
Good. Can relate to that.
Yeah. No, just keep your eyes peeled for our next show, which is going to be some point in October.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much.
Plug our stuff.
Yeah, we should plug our stuff.
Check out Sly,
probably.
Sly Elliott and everything.
Check out Sly Elliott on everything. Sorry Chandler couldn't be here
Lab
today.
212 on social medias and
Yep.
the YouTube channel.
Check out Poorly Edited Podcast. Shout out to Ryan Flynn and Mungo. We've been using his music a lot lately as a
Probably in
fat
this
new
episode,
track.
too.
Maybe, who knows? Don't want to make any promises.
That's a good point.
Ryan's my boy.
If Ryan's your boy, comment below.
If Ryan's your boy, comment below. And thanks again for coming on. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
I was zoning
a
out.
great
I'm
time.
sorry.
No.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a great time.
Do your favorite impression on your way.
My favorite impression. Oh, jeez. You would have to. Oh, excuse me. I really fucked that one up, didn't he?
You would have to be Marvin the Martian, and I will destroy your puny earthlings with my disintegrator ray.
All right, that's it.
That's
That's good. It's perfect. Thanks so much.